So I got my thinky parts thinking, and I have watched and analyzed so many pros and content creators gameplay over the placement. And guess what? I know so much now, and I'm here to share that with you guys because there's definitely a lot of confusion going around. First, we're going to be starting off with loadouts. What is the best duo loadout in Fortnite Chapter 4? And this is actually going to come to you as a shocker, but I would really recommend having at least one person from your team holding an SMG. If this is duos, you have one person have an SMG and one person have a red dot AR, it's gonna work perfectly for Storm Surge. Those SMGs now have way more range than they used to, and they do so much damage so quickly. First of all, if you're on height with that thing is gonna fry. I do personally think though that pistols are better than scars, so if you have to choose between one or the other, I would recommend to choose the pistol. And I also like this because one person is going to be using light ammo for their secondary and the other person is going to be using AR ammo. Obviously, when you pick up a refresh right before endgame, I would definitely recommend dropping the red dot AR. Do not get me wrong. But I've seen so many pro players use the SMG red dot combo to get all the way to endgame. It really does work like a charm. Don't you dare forget that hammer. When it comes to getting hammers, I would 100% recommend landing on a place that will really supply you with hammers using white chests. You can go to Fortnite.gg if you want to know where all white chests are located, but it really is vital. And we're going to be talking about them more later. So the next thing we got to be talking about is perks. What perks are really vital to competitive play? If you don't know this already, you do not get all these perks unlocked immediately. So you're going to have to be playing some arena. You got to be playing some pubs. You got to be doing whatever. You just have to be playing the game and you'll automatically get perks as you go on. But a few of these perks are so crucial. One of them being glider redeploy. Pretty self-explanatory. You can deploy your glider by just jumping in midair with certain elevation over the ground. And the next one is truly so important. This is forecast. Forecast will show you on your map every single zone, the next zone after. So if I'm in half and half zone, I'll be able to see where first moving is pulling. If I'm at third zone, I'll be able to see where fourth zone is pulling. And this is really going to help you when it comes to getting positioning in Storm Surge. You will really be able to play so center to the point where it is crazy. Next one we have is the jellyfish one. This one can truly help when it comes to out surviving Storm Surge. So what this one is that you could get a fishing rod just from selecting the perk. And if you're right next to a river, for example, and you're below on Storm Surge, all you have to do is fish the river. There doesn't even need to be a fishing spot, and you will keep constantly reeling in jellyfish. And this will truly save you from Storm Surge if you're ever below. Obviously, it's a very short-term way to save yourself, but if you need some heals and you have nothing else to go for, you might as well. Next one is the buffs to pistols. You could either make it reload faster or you could make it have more ammo. There are certain movement perks that'll reload your shotgun for you, and there are plenty more to be aware of. So please keep this in mind. Now we have the biggest topic of them all, hammers and how they should be used. First of all, one important tip I want to show you guys with the hammer is a very easy way to get refreshes with it. So you're going to set this up like there was a tarp either one layer to your left or one layer above you to your right. And you're going to be treating it like you were dropping them down. However, the reason why this is so good is that instead of spraying them down, you're really going to be having one person hammer them down, and it's going to break the builds to the point where they just drop into the pre-box that you've set up for it. And this is going to work so well because it does not give the opponents a second to react. Just imagine, that's really what you're playing right now. And you're going to have to be the one that's aware of people near you that could do this and people that you can do this too. So this is where awareness really comes into play. People just think about like mechanics, think about fighting, think about maybe a little bit how to play endgames. But this is where awareness truly counts. How are you going to be able to tarp ahead of the zone if you're not getting refreshes like that? Next bit of advice I gotta give you is what to do off spawn and what to do when it comes to getting metal, what to do when it comes to choosing your drop spot. There really is a lot to it. So a lot of people are complaining about how there really isn't a lot of metal around the map and it's so hard to get metal and stuff like that. But this is my theory to the process. So first of all, you kind of have to pick your poison. Do you want no metal? Do you want bad positioning? Do you want this? Do you want that? And that's kind of what I love about this map. There really isn't a lot of overpowered POIs. So this is my advice to you. Pick what you need. For example, if you have problems getting refreshes and think you can win off spawn well. There's some places on the map where you could 50-50 and there would be a lot of metal easily. I know Nate Hill's drop spot was like that. They are really good droppers and they were winning off spawn a lot while being able to make it to endgame with metal and shockwave hammers every single time. If you're someone that's very good at fighting, maybe you don't even really need to land for a metal POI. Maybe you could just go get kills and land center zone so that you don't really have to worry about positioning as much. So it's really up to you. Please think about what you and your duo do best and decide where is the best spot for you to land when it comes to getting loot, when it comes to fighting, when it comes to rotations. Really think about that. Make sure you talk to your duo sometime. Now we have to talk about endgame rotations. And I saved this for last because this is truly something that is so important and still being learned about till now. Experience will be the best teacher, but I've learned a lot when it comes to watching these pros, when it comes to playing it myself, and this is kind of what I've seen. First of all, I do not want you guys to be spamming the hammers. Now, this is where me and pro player Cease kind of disagree. I was watching his YouTube video, and he was saying to use the hammer whenever you can. But what I think about that is it will really lead to you being cut off and being not ahead of the zone as much. If you're using the hammer as a duo to get ahead of the zone constantly and staggering constantly and then just trying to shockwave ahead, you're going to be cut off. You're going to be noticed a lot. You guys are going to get separated a lot. This will leave you guys as solos a lot. And guess what? If you guys are playing like that, you guys are not going to be ahead of the zone together almost forever. Don't get me wrong though, this hammer is still so vital when it comes to endgames. So what I want you guys to use this as is I want you guys to use this as an emergency tool. If you guys are separate, if you guys get a max distance second moving, let's say, you guys shockwave ahead of the zone and you guys will be ahead together. Meet up, you guys are ahead, you guys keep using mats, you guys keep using togetherness in order to find refreshes. And there you guys go. You guys are playing a very solid endgame. And make sure you guys hold as many hammers as you can, of course. Not saying more than one per person. But I'm saying that this could be so useful as a solo clutch weapon. Now this is where you have to keep staggering. This is where you have to just hammer, box. And that's how you use it as a solo. It's going to be so vital when it comes to the victory cups. You're going to be preserving so many mats. In my latest YouTube video of playing the placement cup, I myself had a solo clutch from first moving in order to get like a top 4 or something just by having a hammer, and I only got 1 kill during that whole solo clutch. So it really is so useful, and I 100% recommend to still practice what I'm saying. Make sure you guys are shockwaving in separate boxes if you guys are, for in any reason, trying to shockwave as a duo. And also, if you guys only have 1 hammer, this is something that you guys can do. You guys can have the person that has the hammer click R2 instead of L2 or whatever the keyboard thing is. You guys whack the other guy ahead of the zone and you shockwave right after and get to him. There are other ways where if you just hug the wall, you guys can just shockwave together, but I actually don't know if this still works. I didn't test it out after the update, but there's still a lot to be learned about. So make sure you guys are scrimming. Make sure you guys are doing as much as you can to learn from what happened. Use your hammers wise. Always prioritize getting ahead of the zone and being with your teammate. And that's going to be all for me. If you guys want to improve together with your teammate, make sure you guys send this video and maybe even watch it together. I seriously appreciate you guys for making it all the way here. You guys really have a special place in my heart. If you guys want to support even more, drop a comment down below. Help with the algorithm a bit. And I seriously appreciate you guys. Hope to see you guys in future videos. I'm out.